we have a man with classic status with us, Nicholas.
Yes,
Parsons.
very kind.
It's great to see you, but you have classic status. No one's going to argue with that. Is it not a bit mad that Morrissey's book should come out as a classic before anybody's read it?
Well, yes, I think so, because if something's a classic, it's got to achieve longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, take the programme I do on Radio 4, Just a Minute. When it first started, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
And they didn't even want the series. The producer fought for it. We got the first series, and over the years we've worked at it, honed it, applied our creative interests and so forth, and turned it into a very long show. And now it's been running for 46 years.
46 years.
And if
before Michael was born.
I know, and therefore you can say it is a successful show, but because of its longevity, you can probably say it's a classic.
Exactly, because it's earned its classic status, like the great authors of Jane Austen.
That's right, yes.
Charles, you have to earn it.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Morrissey hasn't yet earned it.
Well, he's earned lots, but he's not earned it for the book, is he?
He's earned lots of dosh, you mean? Yes, unlike doing a radio programme.
No, we don't get paid much on Radio 4.
Exactly.
But
what's your take on this?
I think it's the most extraordinary egotism to say that you want to have your new work published as a Penguin classic. I mean, it's just such a lack of humility, isn't it? It's shocking.
Humility is, of course, something you know a great deal about.
Well, hold on. You're the one that just called yourself humble at the start of the programme. You ought to see the Twitter line here. You're right.
I mean, they talk about a classic dish, but someone doesn't suddenly make a new dish and say, this is a classic. No. A dish that's been going for a long time, like crepe Suzette, which is gorgeous. That is a classic.
You see, I would suggest that a classic needs two qualities above all. It has to be of sufficient quality.
Absolutely.
But it also has to have a certain popularity as well.
Oh, yes, it's got to be popular as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave him the example, I hope, in just a minute, but it is popular, and it's been going so long, it can be called a classic. And I'm sure there's other examples of that as well.
And if these are the qualities, it means that the judges in the Booker Prize, they alone can't decide what's a classic. They can choose a winner, but it doesn't make it a classic.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think some Man Booker winners probably by now have become classics because it's been going quite a long time. It was at least the Booker Prize before that. But no, of course. They would never claim they were manufacturing classics, not at all.
I just want to say that I'm not easily impressed, but I am so impressed to be on a programme with Nicholas Parsons. I remember you in the Arthur Haynes show.
Oh, that's lovely, yes.
She's never said that to anybody.
No, actually. And Just a Minute, it's one of my favourite programmes. I have to say that.
Someone as charming and as attractive as you said that to me. I'm
No.
overwhelmed.
No, I've had
But
it.
I'm delighted you mentioned that.
Too late.
The Arthur Haynes show was of its kind very good. That started as a disaster, but we turned it into a success. And it's now probably called a classic, I don't know. But the point is, that was what established me as a name with the general public.
Yes.
So I have a huge affection for it.
You're the first national institution on the programme that she's not savaged or been rude to, so that's really quite something. That was a classic piece of licking up to a national institution you've just been.
Well, it doesn't often happen.
I've never been called an institution before, Michael. I mean, some people will say he should be in an institution.
Institutionalised. Yeah, well, that was a classic bit of television from Diane there. We'll never see that again. Sometimes the memory plays tricks.
Yes.
And things that we thought were classics. Actually, you see them again and you think, did I really think that was so good?
Ah, yes.
Well, it was a classic at the time, maybe. It went for a time, but then it falls out of favour. I mean, things do have fashions, don't they?
Yes.
There's such a thing as a fashionable show, and it has run long enough to be called a classic. I mean, this show, it's been going so long now, you could say that This Week Now is a classic television show.
We're almost there, just another 50 years. And it's
We've not been going quite a quarter of the time that your show's been going.
No.
We're working towards it.
No, it is a unique record, 46 years. I mean, I don't know. I didn't want the job to begin with. I didn't think I was right for it. I was going to be on the panel, but the chairman they asked, which was Jimmy Edwards, was never available. So they asked me to do the pilot, and then
he mysteriously got lost on the way to the first programme.
I think he was nobbled.
You sent him the map.
No.
Yeah, I can see that.
I did a deal with the producer. He said, you do the pilot for me as the chairman, and if we get the series, we'll put you back on the panel. And then afterwards, they didn't want it. But the BBC hierarchy said, well, the only thing we liked was Nicholas Parsons' chairmanship.
Right. Now, that brings, because it is you. It's a while since we've had a This Week quiz. So the fact that we have the doyen of quizmasters and presenters here means that we're going to get you to give them a
We're
quiz.
going to have a little bit of a game. It's not a quiz, it's a game.
Okay.
Because Just a Minute is a game.
Right.
A very difficult game, very challenging, because we're asked to speak on a subject without hesitation, repetition or deviation, which is very difficult. And they've been asked to do this with you. Start with you, Michael. I give you a subject, and here's a subject which is close to your heart, trains. So can you talk without hesitation, repetition or deviation for as many seconds as you can, and I'll press the buzzer when I think you've gone long enough, on trains, starting now.
I like to go to the station and buy myself a ticket from a machine. I place coins into the machine.
Repetition, but carry
Repetition.
Oh, no, I'm out.
on.
That's it.
Hesitation now, but carry on.
Oh,
carry
yes.
on.
And I get my
Hesitation, but carry on,
for
yes.
travel. I then go onto the platform. I open the door and board the train. I find myself a seat. Above me there are racks in which I can put my luggage. Today I have no suitcase, so I am able to avoid that particular stage of my journey.
Excuse me,
I think
Nick. I'm losing the will to live here. I mean, there was every second word was I. Let's try.
We do let them get away with too many eyes, but you did repeat suitcase as well, and go, you mentioned you were going a bit too often, yes.
Good, you've got a very cute ear for this, haven't you?
We've got something here for you. You know, it's without hesitation, repetition, deviation, my dear. And I've also been asked to say, would you also try and do this subject without lying or sucking up? That's because it's
That's not going to happen.
I would never say that in my show, but it's because it's a political show. And you have, as many minutes, as many seconds as you want. Would you tell us something, in your own words, why Ed Miliband is a wonderful leader?
Ralph Miliband's younger son is truly remarkable. There are many reasons why he stands out as one of the great politicians of the 20th century. There is his dark bog brush hair with a little streak of white in it. There
Hesitation. The whole thing was a hesitation. You had to think of every word.
Also, deviation. It's the 21st century.
Well, we do that. Now, I've got to say, you were so clever there, because what you did was what very few people do. You decided to speak slowly, so with measured tones, you don't hesitate quite so often.
All right, well, she's never spoken slowly before. Actor, presenter, Nicholas Parsons, thank you for being with us tonight.
It's been a joy, as always.
Good to have a profession on the programme at last.